students, today we will be seeing the gross anatomical features of the differences between the small intestine, that is the jejunum, and the ileum, and the large intestine, which is majorly the colon. So how do we differentiate on a gross anatomical specimen between the parts of small intestine and the parts of the large intestine? Now we can identify what we see here. This is the large intestine, and what we see here is the small intestine. Features which we have seen previously. This small intestine having attachment of the mesentery and having a flare like or a lady's skirt like appearance. This is the small intestine, the jejunum and the ileum part of the small intestine. And what we see here, based on the three cardinal features of the large intestine, that is the appendices epiploicae, the tinea and the saculations, we can identify this as the colon part of the large intestine. Now what are the other gross anatomical differences between the two? Now when we talk of the entire length of the intestines, the small intestine measures about 6.5 meters in length, while the large intestine measures about 1.5 meters in length. When we check or go into the diameter of the intestine, the small intestine is called small because it is narrower as compared to the width of the large intestine, which is much more wider as compared to the small intestine. The small intestine is more mobile if we talk of the jejunum and the ileal parts, as the duodenum is a fixed part which is retroperitoneal, while when we talk of the large intestine, major component of the large intestine is fixed, which is the cecum appendix, the ascending colon and the descending colon, whereas only the transverse colon and the sigmoid colon are slightly movable because of the presence of the transverse mesocolon and the sigmoid mesocolon. So small intestine is more movable while large intestine is majorly fixed. Then when we talk of the circularly arranged folds on the luminal surface, in the small intestine we see permanent circularly arranged folds on the luminal surface, while such folds are absent on the luminal surface of the large intestine. Then the three cardinal features of the large intestine, that is the appendices epiploicae, are seen here while they are absent in the small intestine. Similarly, the tinea coli are present in majority part of the large intestine except at the vermiform appendix and the rectum, while they are absent in the small intestine. Wherever we see the tinea coli, same areas we will be seeing the outpouchings or the saculations. So saculations are seen all along the large intestine except at the vermiform appendix and the rectum, and these are again absent in the small intestine. So three cardinal features of large intestine present here and they are absent in the small intestine. When we talk of the arterial supply, small intestine is supplied by the vasa recti, which are seen in the mesentery, and these are arising from the terminal arterial arcades of branches of the superior mesenteric artery. While the arterial supply of the large intestine is seen in the form of vasa longa and vasa breva, which are coming from the marginal artery of Drummond, which is formed by branches contributed by the superior and the inferior mesenteric arteries. So these were the gross anatomical differences between the small intestine and the large intestine.